is about to open wide.
Welcome everyone. God, it's been a little while since I've done one of these in the main chair. A Pandora's box. Welcome to Pandora's box, everyone. Of course, I'm not your usual main host. No, instead, I'm Nathaniel Warren, the man who normally sits in the side seat. But with me this week in the side seat is my nan, Pauline Tucker. Welcome.
Hi.
How long have I been trying to get you into the studio to do this for?
Oh my gosh, it's gone on and on.
Years,
hasn't it?
maybe?
Yeah, years. Yeah, years. But
we're
I'm
finally here.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm really glad you are because, I mean, whenever I'm with you, we always just end up chatting about so many stories of yesteryear, and you've got so many great accounts to tell that I've always wanted to sort of get it down, in video format so we could just have it forever.
Right.
So it's really good that you come in and we can actually do this.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, well, I am too. I just hope I don't let you down.
A little bit nervous, perhaps.
A little bit nervous. You could say that.
You'll kill it. You'll kill it. So, we're going to speak about your life story, basically, throughout today's show.
Okay.
So I suppose we should just sort of jump straight into it.
Yeah.
1938.
Yeah. God.
Long time ago now.
That puts me well in my 80s, doesn't it? My goodness me. Oh, it seems... Well, I don't know where the time goes, really.
It must feel crazy now being 2025.
Yeah, and so much has happened in the world, in technology and, just flying off on a holiday now, which was never... You just didn't do it.
Yeah.
In
I mean, there's so many things that, we almost take for granted, particularly I think my generation, even the fact of before phones seems like another life ago, but that obviously is still a pretty recent thing. There was a time, like you say, where there was no holidays or anything like that.
We never had no phones either. We had to go up the village and get into the local post box phone, and that was it. And if there was a queue, you waited in the queue. Probably getting soaking wet in the rain. Yeah. But that was life. We didn't know any different.
Yeah. So where were you born, Nan?
I was born in Bromsgrove, Worcestershire. 201 Sidemore. And my mother had a son and a daughter. Obviously, I was come along a bit later in life than them two. And... lived there with my father, who probably we're going to get into because he was just not a nice man. I have tales from my mother many times of what he was like and how in the end she just had to escape from him. Yeah. Because he was not nice.
I was saying to Calum the other day, because we were sort of talking about this and the things we were going to discuss in today's show, and... it seemed to be a lot more common of an issue back then.
Yes, because, the woman was the woman and the man was the man. Yeah. The woman had to do more or less what the husband said she had to. He controlled the money because obviously the woman was bringing up the children. Yeah. So that was the way of life, really. You know?
I suppose a major turning point in that was the war. You hear all these stories about how, the woman really stepped up and really won the war, all the factories being run and everything back home.
Definitely. Well, your nan herself, she worked in the ammunitions factory, making guns and putting all the bits together, That was her job during the war. But...
So you would have been... How old were you when the war started?
2.
2?
Yeah.
And 6 when it ended?
No, 1, wasn't I? 1. Right. Because it was 39, the war started.
That's quite a...
So I was 1.
Yeah, that's quite a crazy time to be born into, isn't it?
Yeah. And, as I say, one of the memories that I have jotted down, it was when my mother, I was in her arms and she was showing me the sky. And it was absolutely blood red, and it was Coventry we were looking at, way in the distance. But it was just where Hitler had practically flattened Coventry. And, you know, many people died that night. Many people were buried in those buildings. Some trapped, you know. Must have been absolutely horrendous.
Absolutely,
yeah. But
obviously, at that age, I suppose there's only so many memories that you'll have.
I haven't got a great deal, no, because obviously we weren't bombed in Bromsgrove.
Yeah,
not actually in Bromsgrove, but I mean it was all around us. Yeah, but of course it was London that was taking the hammering at the time, you know, and no, I stayed with my mother and father and my sister and brother until I was 3, and then this is when my mother had tried to get that was another thing. She tried to get a divorce because he was not a nice man. He kept threatening her with knives and whatnot, and she tried to get a divorce. Even the doctor said that she was been knocked about and everything, and went in, and she still lost her case. Yeah, they wouldn't give her a divorce. Wow. So she knew she had to escape from him. And we went out to a little village called Timberonga, where my grandmother lived, where my mother had grown up. My mother grown up in Timberonga.
So where was this? Where's Timberonga?
It's just outside Bromsgrove, about 2 miles outside Bromsgrove, but really in the dead of country, you know? Yeah. And there was no transport out to there, you know, it's... you were really there. You either walked in, went on the farmer's horse and cart in there, or got on a bike. You know, and that was your only modes of getting about, sort of thing. You know?
Yeah, it's incredible.
No phones, no television, no radio, not radios as you would know them today, which we called wirelesses in those days. And they had an accumulator, and you had to go and get this accumulator topped up every so often, and then bring it back to your radio to get it going again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are your memories at the time of entertainment? What would you have been doing then?
Well, when I was at Timberonga, just playing in the country lanes. I can remember going, there was down the bottom of the road, there was like a little pool. And I had a doll's pram, and I used to push it down there and go and pick some buttercups and things like that, you know, just as a small child. And a bit later on, before I left Timberonga, I learnt to ride a bike. And my grandmother had an old pump in the garden that wasn't active anymore. And so I used to get on my bike, hold the handle of the pump, and it would go round. And... I'd cycle round on the bike, learning how to ride a bike.
I bet that was quite a big skill at the time, with only horse and cart to bring you around.
And then when I went out onto the road, I thought, because it's only a lane, it wasn't a road, and I thought I'll ride. There was a hill, and my grandmother's was at the bottom. I thought, right, I'll go to the top of the hill and cycle down. Ended up in the ditch, I did. So, you know, that was that sort of thing. But, yeah, that was all there was to do, just listen to a bit of radio. Yeah. And I can't think for the life of me what we ever listened to. I mean, I suppose there was a bit of music going on it, but I really can't remember that bit. No.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, today you speak, you know, we go to the cinema a lot, for example, but there's almost so much media to intake, isn't there? Yeah. There's more than you ever could. Yeah. So it's crazy to think at one point there wasn't really any.
No. And I don't know what my brother and sister did, because they were obviously 8 and 10 years older than me, so they were growing up, you know. I know my brother used to go off shooting rabbits. Right. That was his thing that he used to seem to like to do, you know. And I think my sister just discovered boys. So.
Right, okay. So that kept her busy. Yeah. So how long were you there for?
We stayed there. We stayed there until, left Broad Street in 3 years, and then I left there. I was about 5 years there.
Okay.
Yeah, from about 3. I went to school.
Yeah.
And that was another experience, going
Yeah.
to school, because it was quite a way away. My mother had to go to work because she was working in the ammunition factory, you know. And so my brother and sister had to take me to school before they went to school, because they were at a senior school.
Right.
And in the winter, we used to have quite bad winters up there. And I was only a little girl, obviously, going to school. So they had to pull me to school on the sleigh through the snow. Yeah.
I bet that was quite fun.
Yeah. Didn't mind that bit.
Yeah, yeah. That's a much more fun school bus, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, no buses. But, yeah. So, yeah, they used to pull me. That was in the winter time, obviously. And also, I think there is still now to this day, but there used to be a lot of... am I allowed to say gypsies? Is that what you would call people? There was a lot of gypsies, and they used to park on a bit of a pull-in on the way to school. Used to frighten me to death, you know. So my brother, once again, always had to take me to school, whether my sister did or not. But my sister wasn't so cooperative. She didn't like me very much in those days.
Right.
No.
Too busy interested in the boys.
In the boys. when she took me into town, she used to put me on her handlebars of her bike, and constantly, all the way into the town, she was pulling up the brakes, and it would pinch my bottom. She was horrible. She was. Yeah. So that was my sister. But, yeah, but I loved her in the end, obviously. But that was just when we were small, and I think I was a nuisance. She said I was a tell-tip.
Right.
That's what she used to say.
The younger sibling syndrome.
I was telling Mother everything that she's done, and because then she was getting a smack for it, you know, because she was acting for.
I'm sure Josh and Jake probably thought I was a big nuisance at times as well.
Yeah, because there's a bit of a gap with you.
Yeah, exactly. So I can resonate with that.
Yeah. But,
it must have been quite a crazy time at school, and I sort of want to speak a little bit more on the war, because I know we've got some of Grandad's memories as well that we're going to talk about on the show. So you would have been going to school around, like, the first year, around the time that the war would have sort of been coming to a close, I suppose.
That's right.
Can you remember at the time, what was the sort of feeling around? Was it a feeling of panic? Was it, you know, for example, did you have to always learn about going into the air raid shelters and stuff like that?
No, not where we were, because we were so remote out in the country that wasn't really any danger, you know. Well, we didn't think there was, and obviously there was. What we did have, though, or I did, I suppose the other two did, was these gas masks. That you know, because they were threatening to, you know, send this gas over. Yeah. And it was poisonous and everything, you know. And so they had to learn, the children had to learn to put these gas masks on. And it was a complete, all over, you know, just two eyes like that looking out. Yeah. And like the thing that stopped you breathing the poison. And it went all around your head. And it was frightening. It was frightening. For a little girl, it was frightening.
Yeah, I bet.
You know, I think that was my more frightening bit, really, of the war. Yeah. Because we really didn't see much of it there. Like, you know, as I say, all I remember seeing was that sky. And even then, I didn't really appreciate at the time what that was all about. You know?
Of course.
But so we went to the school, and at Dodford School, it was called. And in the middle of the room, well, you wouldn't believe it in this day and age, there was a great big round metal thing, stood about 4 foot high. Okay. And they used to fill it there was no electric, no gas. So they used to fill it with the fuel, coal, I take it. Right. Red hot it used to get. And there we all were, small children, in this room with this. Why not give off a lovely heat?
And what was that, literally just to be used as a heater?
That was to keep us warm in the schoolroom. Yeah. I mean, there was no I can't remember a guard being round it at all.
Yeah.
But it was a great big bulky thing, you know, but yeah.
What was school like in those days?
Can't remember too much of it at Dodford. I know I went the first couple of days and didn't want to go anymore. But that, that was just me.
Same as kids today, I suppose.
Yeah, well, right, yeah. But, so, yeah, it's... no, I can't... I can remember playing out in the playground and running around and doing exercise. We had to do exercises, you know, but...
You don't recall it being overly strict or anything?
No, I don't recall it there.
Right.
It was as I got into...
Okay, we'll get into that.
Schools, yeah. But, yeah. So, so it was unfortunate for my mum because, you know, she didn't deserve my father being like that. And in the end, she just said, well, the war... Oh, that was the thing. We had the victory parade in Bromsgrove. That was rather nice because we went in and all this ticker tape was all falling down, all on our heads. As a parade was a bit of a parade going up through. Yeah. It's only a small country market town, Bromsgrove. You know, still is today, and and all the ticker tape was all falling down, and that was everybody was so happy. You know, they were singing, they were dancing. You know, it was just, I can remember that bit, being that nice, you know. And I can also remember queuing up for a banana, one banana, because never seen a banana before. Because our food was not like you would have today. You know?
That'd be a really interesting thing to get into. So what would a meal have looked like back then?
Well, my grandmother had a great big walk-in pantry, and my grandfather worked on a farm. All right. Okay. So we were lucky, really. We had lots of vegetables and all that sort of stuff from the farm. But when they killed a pig or anything, then he'd have half or part of the pig, and it would be hanging on great big hooks in this walk-in pantry. And you go, and he'd just he'd have his knife and just slicing off how much bacon he wanted just to go back and have his breakfast. And we had chicken. Grandmother always had chicken, so we always had eggs. You know, and
so if anything, you were actually living quite good at the time.
We were exceptionally good actually, and food-wise, because of being on the farm, and also they had quite a bit of ground around, and we had lovely plum trees, a beautiful green gage plum tree in our garden. You know, I can remember that. And the one thing I really hated, was the fact that the toilet was way down the bottom of the garden, and that she had a long garden outside. In the night, you wanted the toilet or anything. So my sister used to have to take me because I was always frightened of the dark, and she used to have to go down and stand outside and keep going on to me. Are you coming out yet? And you finished yet? You know, all this business, you know. But I hated going down there. There was no chain. You didn't have a flush toilet like we all got today. You just sat on this wooden seat thing, and there was a bucket underneath, and poor old Grandad had to empty that bucket every day. You know, so, oh gosh, it was so different, different, you know.
It's crazy. Those are the little things that you sort of forget about when you think of how much things have changed, don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
The little privileges.
Yeah, oh, we take it for granted now. That's the trouble, isn't it, really? I mean, we've got... You know, when I see these things on the television at the moment, I think we've got so much in this country that we waste, you know. Well, that's another story.
Yeah. So I sort of want to speak as well on some of Grandad's stories, because I can remember as a kid always coming into your house and Grandad telling me these stories and showing me photos of, you know, the war.
Grandad George you're talking about now.
Yes, Grandad George.
Yeah.
Let's get into some of his stories.
Oh, gosh. Well, of course, George was a Londoner.
Yeah.
And he wasn't he wasn't my husband, he was my partner,
Mm-hmm.
but he was always your granddad, wasn't he, to
Yes.
you? And, he used to come out with all it. He was a postman while he lived in Somerset, but he always come out with all these stories about the war.
Mm.
I've got some of this right down.
Because
yeah.
just a note as well, he was right in the mix of it, wasn't he?
Right, he was in West Ham,
Yeah.
right by the docks.
Yeah.
And that's what Hitler was trying to wipe out.
Mm.
The boats, the ships and everything that was there. And, so he was really in the thick of it. And his father actually built an air raid. They had air raid shelters, obviously, all in London, everywhere. They used to go down in the tunnels as well. Where the,
Right.
and sometimes if they'd have a direct hit, it would go straight through and they'd all be wiped out down in there, But the houses were just falling down like packs of cards, you know. So terrible scenes he saw, but he always said to him, it was a big adventure because he was 9-year-old,
Yeah.
And he thought, he couldn't wait. His father built this air raid shelter. I'll get back to that. He built this air raid shelter down in the garden so as they could all run into there and not have to go down in the tunnels.
Okay, smart.
Yeah, so mind if it hit that, it would have.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it didn't. Fortunately, it didn't. And he had, what did he have? 4 brothers and a sister, I think it was. And anyway, his father used to make them in the tunnel, all in, and they all had to. But Grandad George, he used to like to stand there outside in the open, and all the planes were the Spitfires and the German planes were fighting up in the air, and obviously hitting each other, and all this metal was flying everywhere, coming down, and him and his friends was going round gathering up this red hot metal that was coming down. And his father caught him out by the ear one day and dragged him back into the air raid shelter and said, "You stay there and you don't come out, George Martin."
I bet he wasn't very happy with that.
No. He liked to be in the thick of everything, George did. But yeah, and another time when he saw, there was down the bottom of his road, there was like a bridge, and there was this train going along. It just come, obviously trying to get into the station, and it had been hit by the Germans, and it was absolutely just still going. It was still going along the track, but it was all on fire, and that's the sort of things he's seen.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the government said, right, all the children have got to move out into the country, which they called them evacuees.
Mm-hmm.
They came an evacuee. Parents didn't go. They stayed there in London. And obviously a lot of the children never ever saw their parents again.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they put them all on this train, all these children, and sent them all over the country to different places, And George and his brothers were put on the train. There's his mother waving bye-bye to him and never thinking, would she ever see him again? I mean, very, very sad. Some didn't, But anyway, he was lucky. They got on the train and they came to Somerset. And that's how he came to live in Somerset. Yeah. And he stayed. His mother had told him that the oldest boy had to stay with the youngest boy, and the 2 in the middle had to stay together so they could look after each other. And so she said that when you don't get separated, you must go to a house that take you both, So that is what happened. People didn't want to do that. They only wanted one, really. But some of them did take 2. And he was fortunate enough to get into a house where it was a lovely lady, and she really took to the 2 boys, kitted them all out, and new clothes and whatnot, and really looked after them. And a different life. He never knew a life like that, because they in London, obviously, things was really bad. You couldn't get food, you couldn't get this, you couldn't get that.
Yeah.
they weren't having much to eat, really, you know. So when they came to Somerset, it was a bit easier. Like,
Do you know where it was in Somerset that he came to?
Yeah, Kimberley Terrace.
Okay.
Which is on, as you go down Bristol Road, there's a garage just as you start going down, and then there's a little turn in, and that's Kimberley Terrace.
Okay.
So it was quite central to the.
Yeah, quite in the thick of it still.
Yeah. But we had one bomb in Bridgewater, but yeah.
I can remember, and this is an anecdote that I always tell whenever I speak about Grandad and his time in the war. And I think it's almost the perfect tale of what the British attitude was. You know, why the English did so well in the war and why we managed to win, really, was because of this, you know, never say die attitude they had.
They wouldn't give in.
And also almost the turning things into a bit of a comedy.
Yeah.
You know, the finding the funny in things. And Grandad was someone that was always so great at that.
Yeah.
And I can always remember him telling me how furious he was that he'd walked down, you know, after the air raid sirens had gone off and he'd gone down. And he showed me a photo of the chippy on his road that had been blown to pieces.
Fish and chip shop.
Yeah. And he was furious about it.
He was. Yeah, he was.
Never mind anything else, but the fish and chip shop.
They bombed my fish and chip shop.
That's when it got personal.
Yeah. Oh dear. But then, of course, he joined the army himself. Just as the war ended, he went in. So, and of all places, he was transferred to Germany. Yeah. And he saw Germany as it was. I mean, they took a hammer in the end, obviously, because the Americans came in on it, didn't they, in the war. And they was having a bit of what they'd been giving out.
Could you tell me a little bit about this? Because this is almost the side of things I never really got to speak to Grandad that much about. Him joining the army and what he did there. And how old was he when he joined, you know?
18.
18.
Yeah, because if the rule was in England, if you had an apprenticeship, apprenticeship went on till you were 21 in those days. Okay. And if you were learning an apprenticeship, unless they really wanted you, you stayed and done what you were doing. But if you never, which he didn't, you went in when you were 18. Yeah. So he went in at 18. And he was most disgruntled at the end of his term. I don't know if he ever told you that.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, most disgruntled because it was always like for 18 months. That's how long they had to stay in. Right. And just before he was due to finish, they put it up to 2 years.
Just to keep him around.
He said they did ask him to join. They said they'd make him a sergeant. So he must have been doing something right. But anyway, so... but he enjoyed the army. He did enjoy it, but he was glad to come home. Yeah. You know, I mean, nowhere like home, is there really? No. So, but he enjoyed himself there. He went to I think he went to Amsterdam as well. He went around a bit, but mainly it was Germany. That's where he was stationed, you know. But, and then he had some young lady, because knowing George, he had an eye for the ladies, you know. And he sort of got friendly with her, and he told her that he would come back. And anyway, of course, he didn't go back.
He never did.
No. So she wrote him a letter to say, I no see you no more. You nasty man, you never came back to me. I don't want to see you no more.
So that was the end of that.
That was the end of that. And anyway, he's on the verge of getting married himself then. So,
So, moving on back to you now, of course, after the war. Right. This was obviously still a period of unrest in your life, so to speak. Yeah. Because obviously you moved away from Bromsgrove. Yeah. Tell me all about that.
Yeah. Me and not my brother, because my brother then was getting to be a young man, like, you know. Yeah. So and he'd always been with my grandmother. So, well, he stayed with my grandmother until the day she died. But anyway, so he stayed up there, but my sister and I and my mother, we came down, I'm not sure quite how she got a job at British Cellophane, but how she knew about that, I don't know, unless she got it when she got here. I don't know.
Right.
But anyway, first of all, we came down to, we had about, I think it was about a couple of months at Taunton in lodgings. And then we moved up to Bridgewater. That was probably when she got the job at Cellophane. And anyway, then she... Oh, and we had a little caravan. And when I say a little caravan, I bet it wasn't much... Well, I'm looking at your table, but obviously the audience can't see that. But it wasn't very big. It was really tiny.
Around the size of this table,
yeah,
you're saying?
Really tiny.
Okay, wow.
And we had a little fire in there as well.
Yeah,
a little
wow.
burning fire. And Mother always said that was the warmest she'd ever been in anything. Because, you know,
wow.
That was really, yeah, it was. We had a couple of bunk beds. And
I mean, just to give context, like, what's the size of this table? Maybe a king-size bed? A little bit bigger?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, really tiny it was.
Yeah.
Really tiny. And so that was at Huntworth. And so we had the caravan on this little site. There was a couple other caravans there. So we stayed there. So we lived there for a year. And she worked in Cellophane, as I've said. And I went to North Petherton School for a year. Olive, my sister, she... had a job at Taunton, because she got that when she first went to Taunton when we got down here. And she worked in a cinema. She used to cycle down to Taunton every day. She was an usherette. Do you know what an usherette is?
Sort of like helping people in?
It's the lady who said they used
takes
to have a
your
torch
tickets
and takes your tickets and had a torch and took you to your seat in those days.
That's quite a good job for the time.
Yeah. So that was her job anyway. So she had that. So she done that for a year, and then she said she wanted to go back home to grandmother. So Mum said, well, you know, she was old enough to, so she went. So that just left Mother and I then. But anyway, when I started this North Petherton school, 'cause I was always a bit of a nervous child, never very confident in myself. And so I got to the school, and I went in, and they showed me where my classroom was, but of course I'd forgotten where the classroom was, couldn't remember, got lost in the school, and it wasn't a big school either. Got lost in the school, got frightened, ran home. All the way from Petherton down to Huntworth. I don't know if you know, do you know where Huntworth is?
Yes, yeah.
Just at the bottom of Bridgewater. By my doctors.
Yes, yeah.
And anyway, so I got there. Mother was there. She said, "What are you doing home?" I said, "They've sent me home because they said I got nits."
That's some quick thinking.
So she had me plats. She had done all my plats, and she was there searching through me. She said, "I can't find anything you haven't got." Who said that? And the next minute, a teacher walked in the door, and she'd come to find out where I got.
That's some quick thinking.
And I beat her. I beat the teacher. She was in a car. I beat her. Oh, I ran home.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So I was already beginning to get fat.
Yeah.
But
just for context, what was the year that you came down to Taunton lodgings originally, and also why did you come down here?
Well, we came down because of my father.
Yeah.
That's the main reason. She had to get away from him. And of course, today you could find anybody, couldn't you, with your phones and everything. Yeah. There was nothing like that in those days. So he didn't know where we were. And it was always, whenever we went up to see my gran and my sister, we were always lectured, you did not say where you're living. Never, ever did. And that went on till the day he died. And he lived till, I think he was 84.
Wow.
So, you know, we managed to keep a good secret.
Yeah, I mean, that must have been quite a scary time for both you and your mum.
Yeah.
Can you remember what she was sort of like at that time?
Well, yeah, she was always, very apprehensive. Very, very, it made her very, very careful who she talked to, who she had never told anybody her business, never told anybody anything about her, really.
Right.
And it made her like that, because she knew that if he found her, that she wouldn't be doing very well, like, with him. So, so that's the only thing I can think how she was. I never sort of noticed her anything with me. She wasn't nervous with me or anything, but in fact, she quite liked living in that little caravan. Yeah. She always said in her later life that that was one of the happiest years she ever had. Yeah. Funny, innit? Just a little... I think she was at peace, you see. She was a little tiny caravan, and she didn't have to look round corners. And
happy to be away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it did for her. Really.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that there was a genuine fear that he would come down here and find you. Oh,
yeah. And the thing is, with my father as well, he was well known in Bromsgrove. Right. Nobody tangled with him.
Right.
He was one of those sort of people, Nobody never really... no, they just didn't. They didn't have, they...
In sort of circles against, against the law, perhaps?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he had problems with the law. Yeah. He went to prison.
Yeah.
Not about my mother, but for other things,
So what was that? Almost like gangster style stuff?
Well, sort of, but he didn't have a gang,
Yeah.
He was just laid the law down himself,
Right.
He was just, and yet he wasn't a big man.
Yeah.
He wasn't a big man at all, but he had that, way about him.
That chip on his shoulder.
Like Al Capone.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But no, so that was her most peaceful time in that caravan.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. So then she'd heard. Do you want me to go on into the next bit now?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So she was very happy working down Cellophane. In fact, she idolised that place. She, even when she retired, she still wanted to work there. But that was my mother. She was a worker, But anyway, then she had heard that there was some places going out at Westonzoyland. And so council said, would she go and look at one? And it turned out to be, it was Nissen hats. Do you know what a Nissen hat is?
I don't know.
They're like a half moon thing, what the RAF people used.
Okay.
In the the war.
Yeah.
It was an RAF base.
Okay.
Because we had an.
I think I can picture what you mean. Yeah.
We had an aerodrome out at Westonzoyland.
Yeah.
Which was lovely. Yeah, but so we had an aerodrome. So obviously there was the men were always billeted in these Nissen hats.
Right.
And so that went on until the war ended. Well, then, of course, when the war ended, they all went home, so they never had no use for these Nissen hats. So the council moved in, and when you're inside of them, you would think you're in a little bungalow.
Yeah.
It's only when you go outside and you'd see, like, it's like a, like this.
Almost like a little TARDIS.
Yeah. And so we had. They said, "Would you like to have one?" So we did. We had one, and that was the beginning of Westonzoyland.
I think these are going to be exciting times to get into, because this seems like a period of your life that you've always been really fond of.
Yeah.
This seems to me to almost be your golden years, so to speak.
Loved it. I had the most happiest childhood that I could ever wish to have got for myself, you know, sort of thing, We all moved, it was about 24 of these Nissen hats, so there's 24 families. They all had children, or most of them did anyway, and we all got together, we all, boys and girls, there was none of this business, all boys that and girls that. We all got together as a little gang, and we had the most marvellous childhood. Really did. You
were showing me photos not too long ago of a little like sort of bath that you'd made, but it was essentially just out of like a little bucket, pretty much.
Well, it was a proper metal. You see, that was another thing in the caravan. Obviously, we never had no bathroom.
Yeah.
So we had this metal bath. So I used to have a bath in this outside the caravan.
Yeah.
In this metal bath? Like, you know, I can't think how that worked. I don't know. I can't even remember that bit,
It was really
you know.
small as well. It was a small little sort of tub, wasn't it?
Oh, no.
Ah.
No, it's the size of a bath.
Okay.
You know,
a fully...
a traditional bath.
Okay.
A bath like we got today, but it was
Right.
metal.
Right.
Yeah. What they used to do, that was another thing when I was back at my grandmother's, they had these metal baths, and they never had no bathrooms either. These country little farmhouses, you know. So they used to fill it with water, and we all used to have a bath.
Take turns.
Yeah. And I always remember George saying he used to get a bit upset about it because he was the middle one, and by the time it got to him, by the time Mum and Dad and the other older boys had all been in, it was getting a bit murky.
Oh, that's horrible.
They all had to have a bath in the same bath.
Yeah, yeah.
I was lucky. I was the only one. I was the only girl. So in my house, you know. But he had a family of boys there. So yeah, he often said about that bath that he said, yeah, he used to have to get in the bath. He said, was never first.
Yeah. I guess as like quite a young boy as well.
Yeah.
He's probably going around playing football, running around
that's
getting
right.
muddy.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I can imagine, can't you? You know what he would be like, especially with football.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely mad about football.
Yeah.
West Ham was his god.
Absolutely,
you know?
in his blood.
Yeah, and so it is with his son today, with Darren. I mean, he's really into West Ham as well, bless him. He's not very well, and I hope he's getting on all right. Anyway, Darren. But anyway, that's another story. But yeah, so where'd I got to? So
Westonzoyland, what were the sort of things you would have been getting up to back then?
Well, I did write sort of quite something about this. So yeah, let's see what I've got here. Yeah, as I say, we always went round, girls and boys. We always done everything together. There was no television. You know, we was always outside playing. You never, you know, like the children today, they seem to spend an awful lot of time in their bedrooms and don't go out to play, do they?
Yeah.
We were never in.
Yeah.
We were never in. We were always out playing, you know, and we made up, I mean, yeah, I've put here that, so ours was always outside playing, sometimes mischief, and it was sometimes mischief, because it was, you know.
You got to get up to something.
Well, if somebody had annoyed us, one of the parents, you know, and so we think, well, you know, we'll play a little prank on them. So we tie a bit of cotton stuff to their letterbox and disappear in behind a bush or something and keep rattling it. And they thought somebody was knocking at the door. They keep Well, I won't say on this what he used to say, the man who used to come to the door, but it was not very polite.
Something not very nice.
No, it's not very polite, no, yeah. But we made up these games because there was no money to buy anything. We never had no spare money, you know.
Yeah.
Never had pocket money or anything like that. And then the war had not finished long ago, so obviously everything was in terribly, terribly short supply. Yeah. You just couldn't get things. So we used to play things like marbles. We used to have a game of marbles along the curb. And then, you know, I don't know if you've ever played marbles or anything?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, where you have to get the other man's marble and somebody would end up being the winner in the end. We'd have a singing contest in these derelict RAF buildings that weren't turned into bungalows, like, you know, some of them were just empty. And we'd also, I bet there aren't many people who would know what this is. We used to play a game called Cocky Five Stones.
Cocky Five Stones?
Yeah.
What was Cocky Five Stones?
Well, we just made it up.
Okay.
I think it's just something we'd done, you know. But you find 5 nice little, about the same size, little pebbles.
I'm seeing where it's getting this name.
And then you'd have them in your hand, you know, and then you flick them up in the air, turn your hand over, and the more you could catch on the back of your hand, the better it was, because the one who in the end, had got the most pebbles
Was the winner.
was the winner.
Okay.
So that was cocky 5 stones, you know.
Creative.
So, yeah. So we played hopscotch. I bet you've heard of that.
Mhm.
A lot of hopscotch, a lot of skipping. And the boys used to stand up. We had a big long rope, and they used to stand on the ends because the boys used to do everything the girls did, and vice versa, right? You know. And the girls would run in, and we'd stay in there, jumping, reciting either songs or poems as we were skipping, you know, and do that. That was that one again. That was just a pastime, right, you know. And then the boys, they would, you know, very often go playing cricket.
Okay.
And so we used to go down the fields with them and have a mix up, you know, all of us, and have a game of cricket. And rounders, always played out rounders. Do you know a game called Arrow Chase? No? Well,
Don't think so.
we used to have some chalk, and two would go on, something like a paper chase.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'd have to, and we'd give them a bit of time to go, you know, and they'd have to draw the arrows, and then we'd all chase after them.
Okay.
And if we caught them before they got home, that they were out, you know.
Right.
But if we didn't catch them, well, then they were free to have. They won the game, like you know. So that was arrow chase, you know. What else did we do? Well, it just says you name it, we did it. Oh, we used to go down to. I've recently been to a place called Lockyer's at Allan, where I bought some garlic and herb dressing.
Yes, the famous garlic and herb dress. I've heard all about this.
Yeah. So I hadn't been there for years, but that was what we used to get on our bikes. That was quite away from Westonzoyland, you know. But all of us used to go, take some water and perhaps a packet of biscuits or something, and go down. There's woods up at the back. This farm. It's a cider farm, and we used to go up to the wood. We weren't interested in the cider. We were only interested in the
trees.
Yeah, and go up there playing chase and goodness knows what, and hide and seek, you know, and all that. Spend all day there, and then get on our bikes and go all the way back to Westonzoyland again, you know. So that was another thing. So that was rather nice when I went there the other day to see that place, because that brought back a lot of old memories, like, you know.
Yeah, it really seems like the perfect time to be growing up this.
Yeah.
Because, like you say, no one was in their room. Everyone was out mixing in and just having fun.
Never. Even out in the dark at night, we were out. You didn't have to worry. I mean, it wasn't the scary times in those days either. And also, we all stuck together. There was enough of us, you know. So, But I always remember there was one boy, and he wasn't really part of our gang. In fact, he lived way up round somewhere in the village, but he used to come down. Anyway, this particular day, we had the battlefields out Westonzoyland. Famous battle there, you've heard about that, haven't you? Battle of Sedgemoor. And so we used to go down there an awful lot, picking cowslips. And anyway, we was all going down this day, and this boy, he said, "You're not coming." And I said, "Well, we are." That was to the girls. "We are." "No, you're not. Boys only. You're not coming." I said, "No, do you? We're still coming." He said, "You come," he said, "and you'll regret it." And anyway, we still went. And when we got down there, he grabbed me and he sat on top of me. He didn't do anything, but he frightened me to death. He did. So anyway, I went home crying to my mother. And she was out like a rocket. She went to him. He didn't tangle with my mother again.
He regretted it.
He regretted it, definitely. He regretted that, you know. But, so, and then what else did we used to... Of course, and then we always had the Bridgewater Fair.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for us. Well, you know, we never had no money, as I said again. So what we used to go, all of us used to go out picking blackberries. And there was a Mr. Musgrove lived up the top end of the village, and he'd buy these blackberries. I don't know what he'd done with them, but then he'd, you know, give us money for picking the blackberries, and that was our fair money. So that was September. Always that was taken up in September, picking blackberries. And then the best thing what we'd had, we always, all of us used to go out getting branches and twigs and whatever we could find, boxes, and we'd build an absolute ginormous bonfire in the middle of the. We had a big opening in the middle of the square. The houses was all around it like that, you know, and this big square in the middle, and there was like a bit of an air raid shelter there, and anyway, we used to get all this, and it used to be easily as. How high would you say this room is? But it'd be easily
12 feet, something like that.
Be easily as high as this.
Wow.
And somebody would make a Guy Fawkes as well. We'd get some old clothes and get a Guy Fawkes. And then when it came to Guy Fawkes night, all the parents would come out and stand around. They'd bring out all the fireworks that they got. With all of us, it used to be a lot of fireworks, you know. And then we used to light this bonfire. We used to put our potatoes in the bottom and have like a burnt up jacket potato.
Okay,
you know,
nice.
All that, but we still ate it.
Yeah. Ash black.
Ash black. It was just, And so that was another big occasion, you know. It's,
Oh, see, it's amazing to hear almost a sense of community back then.
Oh, it was lovely.
You know?
Oh, and there was a man in the square, Mr. Puttock. And
Mr. Puttock.
Yeah, and he had 2 children, and everybody worked together, you know.
Yeah.
And he used to organise trips, coach trips. And so off we, you know, I mean, coming from the Midlands, I'd never seen the sea, didn't know what it looked like, you know. But used to get this coach, parents all down the front, kids all in the back. In the boot was full of booze for the pet, not for the children, and the food and whatnot. And we used to go off down to a seaside somewhere, might be, you know, Weymouth or somewhere like that, you know. And they was great. Them absolutely, you know. We used to have the time of our life having a picnic when we got there, and the parents was there glunking away on the bottles, you know, pale ales.
Sounds great.
Goodness what, you know.
Yeah.
So we used to organise that, so that was good, you know.
And you were mentioning in there as well all the singing competitions and things like that you used to do.
Yeah.
This is sort of something I want to get into a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Can you remember what was sort of popular at the time? What you enjoyed listening to? What you enjoyed singing? I know you were speaking about your sister working in the cinema as well.
Yeah.
Can you remember any early cinema movies? Anything like that?
Not really. I never went there.
Right.
So no, I didn't. No, I don't know that. But the singer as well, I did make a little note of that because I thought you might ask me that. But I mean, the people of the day then was like Frank Sinatra, Guy Mitchell, Tommy Steele, Andy Williams, Pat Boone, David Whitfield, Lonnie Donegan, Cliff Richard just starting, Elvis just starting, Johnny Ray. He was the old one of his ears because he was deaf and he used to sing. But he was a you know, nice singer, ballad singer. Julia Clark, Alma Cogan, Tom Jones just starting, and Engelbert just starting.
And I guess at this time the radio would have been more prominent, so you would have had better access to it.
Oh yeah, we had by this time we had a radio. Used to watch. Well, that was another thing. That's the only time we all went in our homes back in. At 7:15, there was always a program on called Dick Barton and his special agent.
Okay.
And he was only on from 7:15 till 7 o'clock.
Okay.
We all used to go back in our houses. And we'd come out and because it was always left in suspense at the end. Because every night
leave it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's right. And we used to come out and say, because his helper or sidekick, whatever you might like to call him, was Snowy White. He was snowy. And we was going, whatever Snowy going to do? Is he going to fall down? Is he going to go in that hole? So you got to get out that hole. Or we was all worried to death what Snowy was going to do, like, you know. And Dick Barton would be there. Hey, I'm the man. I'm going to save him. I'll save Snowy, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, oh, God.
I can see where your love of action movies and stuff like that has started from.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, it was so good, you know. But, yeah, I used to, and then, that went on for quite a while, you know. So, yeah.
School life at this time, what was that like?
Well, of course, when I got to Westonzoyland, once again, I had to change the school again.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Westonzoyland Junior School, and all these friends I've just been talking about, they all did the same. We all went to the same school, went to the same senior school as well. And anyway, so the junior school, it was. I know we used to have sports days because I was always into sport, always. That was my thing, you know. And there was always one girl that could beat me when she ran. She was just that.
What was her name?
Sheila Locke.
Sheila Locke.
Yeah.
We got it ready.
And,
Your nemesis.
Yeah, and she could always just beat me. Even when we went to the senior school, she damn well could still do it, you know. She could still just get that little bit ahead of me, like, you know. But that was in running, like, you know. But, I can remember sitting behind the, little tiny wooden desk with an inkwell, you know, at the junior school, and having our pens and, doing all our maths and...
Yeah, you said earlier you can remember, like, here and there, things getting a little bit more strict. Was that at this time, or...?
No, I think that got... I noticed it more at the senior school, which it would be, wouldn't it, really, you know? I can't remember ever sort of being on... getting into trouble or something.
Yeah.
But, it was a nice little school. It wasn't a big school. And, of course, there weren't that many children, really, and Westonzoyland, not in the village part, you know. So, But then, of course, when we had to change over and go in, because the senior school was still in Westonzoyland, because it was, once again, it was the old ex-RAF camp people, you know. They'd left these buildings there, so they took that over and changed it into a school. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you've told me before, of course, that you were actually the sports captain at school.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit into that.
Yeah, because that was I got a bit older into the, not in the first year. Obviously, you don't get to that until you get more senior. Like,
yeah.
But first of all, I was made a prefect. Couldn't believe it because I was not good. I was really not good. The times he used to have a thing that he used to wipe the board with, the Mr. Pym, his name was.
Mr. Pym.
And of course I'd be, you know. And he turned around, he'd see me, he had this duster thing, he threw it straight at me. It just whizzed past my ear, you know, frightened me to death. But he was strict. Strict. And then there was a Mr. Dean. We never had Mr. Dean, the boys had him, but we actually had pigs on our school. That was part of their curriculum, to look after these pigs, the boys.
Oh, right.
You know, and so that was Mr. Dean, but he was a strict one as well.
This time of teaching, would that still have been like almost ruler hitting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah. I mean, that thing he threw at me, I mean, that was...
you wouldn't get away with that now. Yeah.
And then I got into a bit of bad trouble, really.
Okay.
I'd heard of a joke, and I wanted to write. I was writing it down. This joke. It was a bit naughty, and I wrote this joke, and I was trying to pass it to my friend, and she was going like this. Because he saw me, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, Jones, bring it up here. He read it. Oh God, I could have died. Right. You go to Mr. Adams was the headmaster. He was another. They were all strict, really. And so I had to go to Mr. Adams, and for all that week I had to stand up in the dining. They were all sat there having their dinner, and I had to stand up in front and wait for them all to have their dinner because I'd been naughty.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So,
and then another time we sloped off. We didn't want to go to a certain lesson. So
okay, skiving off.
me and Paul.
I can see what you mean by being shocked about being a prefect.
Me and four girls, we went off to this hat, and he said, well, where? We was missed, that was the thing. And they come and found us, because what were we doing?
Right.
Smoking. So that was that, we were in trouble again.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I was amazed when they made me a prefect, but anyway, I did. So I was in charge of the tuck shop, which I rather liked.
Okay.
We had a nice tuck shop there, and you had to be on the doors and only let so many in at a time.
Okay.
So, but anyway, so I used to do that. But and then I got asked to be captain of the. We had 4 houses: Exmoor, Blackdown, Mendip, and Quantock.
Yeah.
That's all hills.
The same today.
All hills.
That was ours.
Was it?
Yeah, I was in Mendip.
I was in. Oh, were you?
Was I in Mendip? I think I was in Mendip. I think Mendip was red.
Oh,
We had like colours as well, but they were like after the 4 hills.
Pale blue. I was Exmoor. I was Exmoor.
Yeah, I was red.
Yeah.
We were never very good.
No, we weren't. I used to say, for God's sake, come on. I was all there for sport, and we got to do it again, you know. But, so I was captain of that. And then we started playing we've been playing netball all the way through, but then we started playing other schools. So that's when they made me the school captain, because I was quite good at netball. So
what was women's sport like at the time? Because obviously it's something that's been developed over the years to the point where it's at, a really good level now, and it's really encouraged, as it should be. Yeah. But what was it like back then?
Yeah. Well, no. It was all right while you was at school and you were doing it at school.
Yeah.
But when you left school, really,
there wasn't really anything to follow up on it.
Swimming, you could wanted to go swimming, but no. I mean, I can't recall that. There probably was a couple netball teams, going, but not when it seemed to be to me that when you left school, there was nothing to follow on.
Yeah.
It wasn't really. It wasn't good. No. I don't know about hockey because I didn't like hockey much.
So your main thing was just netball then?
Oh yeah, really around it, or or exercises, or running.
Were you quite quick?
But I couldn't beat that girl.
Yeah,
Apart from her, yeah.
Apart from her.
Yeah.
That's not bad going.
Oh,
that's not bad going.
Used to move about. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I've always liked sport. I've liked watching even now, really, So.
Am I right in saying you were a Manchester United fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's only because all the boys I went round with, the gang, they were all Manchester United.
Right. So it rubbed off on you.
So we just followed suit, yeah. And it just stuck, really, know. Yeah, Man U.
So, bringing us up now to the point where you're sort of leaving school, getting ready to mix in outside in the world.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got married quite young.
Yeah.
Talk us through that a little bit.
Well, the thing of it was, as well, just before we leave, when I was in East Nissenhart,
yes,
we had a letter to say from the council that they were pulling them down. We was all, gutted about it,
Yeah, of course.
And but anyway, it turned out that what they were going to do, they were going to pull down one at a time and build a house and then put the people back into the house.
Okay.
So that's what they did.
That sounds like a pretty good deal.
So we all went back into the houses. So we had houses there, same neighbours. I always lived next door to the Savages, and they were fantastic. And I still, even today, I go on this Happy Days thing, and I'm still seeing Doreen and Rod on this thing, So, yeah. But anyway, so... yeah, so...
So what year did you leave school? How old would you have been?
I was 15.
15.
Yeah. So 38, 48, 53?
Yeah.
Yeah, about 53. Or maybe 54, I don't know. Anyway, so along comes all this building firm, to do these, put these new houses up for us. And by now, Doreen and I are getting sort of young ladies, like, you know, sort of thing. So, of course, we used to go over there and chatter away to them, and I up the
Peacock.
apply up the apprentices, and all this. And one of the apprentices was Allan Tucker. So that was my husband. So that's how I met him. First of all, I went out with him for a while, and then I didn't, and then we got back together again. But so I knew him from 16 onwards, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why I got married, because he wanted to get married. So.
Yeah, we've spoken before about how at that time things seem to move a lot quicker.
Yeah.
20's quite young to get married, isn't it?
Yeah. And my friend Kathy was married when she was 17.
Yeah, wow.
It was just different then, But, yeah.
So talk us through that period of your life a little bit.
What? When
After getting married and moving forward and having kids.
After I got married? Right. Okay. Well, I had a lovely wedding. Nice, lovely white wedding in St Mary's Church. No, it wasn't Mr Ayers then, but it was the man before Ted Ayers. Because we're talking about your brother's grandfather now, aren't we? Or adopted grandfather.
Yes.
So, but anyway, so we got married in St Mary's Church, and but then we lived with my mother, still in the same house that he'd built, that Allan built, and we lived there for 5 years until. But by then, I promised my mother she didn't want me to get married at 20. You say.
Okay.
And so I said, well, we're not going to have a family. I said because we want to save some money, so we can have our own house. But that went wrong. First of all, I had my son Kevin in 1961. Yeah. That was only 2 years later. And then along came my other son, 3 years, Mark, in 64. So
didn't quite hold true to that promise.
No, most upset with me. She was about that. Really upset, in fact. When it came to I was having your mum, Grandad Tucker said, "Well, I'm not telling your mother." he said, "You tell your mother." He said, "I'm not telling your mother."
That's so good.
Oh, God, yeah. Because she was so annoyed about Kevin and Mark. Yeah, it really was, But, so, we lived with Mum. I had packed in work then because I had 2 children to care for, and Allan was a bit busy building all over the place, building that estate that Kevin actually lives on now. He practically, I would say he helped build half of that, because it was a big job, that estate. But yeah, we used to have some nice times. We still used to try and go out, although we never had much money. We had a car by then. Okay. Allan had that. When I met...
What was your first car?
Well, no, the thing was, even when I first met Allan, and he was 17, he just passed his test, and his mum had bought him a little old car. So we had a car. Wow. Couldn't believe it. Fantastic. So he used to take me all over the place around,
That's a lot more freedom, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. But my mother, until I married him, she forbid me to get in the car. She'd make sure, we had buses a bit more often then. If I'd been to meet him in town, she'd still insist I come home on the bus and not in the car with him.
Why was that?
And she didn't trust me, I suppose.
Right. Skeptical.
I don't know why she thought that. But yeah, Doreen and I, we used to have some lovely time. This RAF camp was still ticking over, and the airplanes were still coming in on the aerodrome in those days. And they used to hold these dances, but only women could go. No men couldn't go, only the women, because it's RAF. Blokes was there. Like, cool, we had some lovely dances out there, and lovely food they used to put on. Really, the chefs they had, in the RAF, they were really clever, But that was fantastic. We used to go down to the gates, and me and Doreen, and always swinging on the gates, talking to these RAF blokes, So yeah, it's just that just moved on a step further, like
Yeah.
But yeah, what was it you asked me?
So at this point, obviously, was it 22 you were when you had Uncle Kev?
Yeah. Yes. 20.
It's quite crazy to think about, isn't it?
1961.
The age I am now.
Yeah.
It's quite crazy to think about.
Yeah.
What was it like being a young mother and having your children and growing up with them, and obviously, of course, Grandad Tucker, obviously building you a house too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's yeah. Well, as regards to when I had Kev, I mean, I was frightened when I had him, because I had a bit of problem having Kevin, and when Allan came, I was frightened for Allan to come in and see him, because he looked like a little crumpled up. You know that funny little character in the film?
E.T.?
Not E.T., the other one. What's the other famous?
Yoda?
Yeah.
Yoda.
And he looked queer. He looked really cool. And I thought, oh my God, what's going to think of him?
Uncle Kev will be very happy with that.
Well, he knows. I've told him millions.
Baby Yoda.
I often make M and Sam laugh about that, because...
That's so good.
Yeah, it did look strange. But within days, it was like his skin had suddenly got back to normal.
Sure.
And he was lovely. But no, I want... It was hard. I didn't find it easy being a first-time mum then, I didn't get on top of it until he was about 6 months old, But then after that, it all fitted into place, and so, and then of course, as you know, we had Mark, and he was quite the opposite. He was perfect. He was perfect, but he was he was a lovely little boy, and so sad really that his life had to end so young, But I'll never forget that night. That was a horrendous part of my life, that was, that when they said that he'd been killed, No.
Take us to that night. Oh. When was this? What year?
Well, he was 21.
Yeah.
So he was born in 64, 84. Oh, well, it was 86, wasn't it? Because it was. I should know that. 86 when he died. So he was 21. A bit younger than you.
Yeah.
And so he'd been to London, because he's a bit like you. He liked very independent.
Yeah.
And liked to go in here and there and doing it.
Travelling about.
Yeah, and been up to London, And he was going to stay the night, but when he got there, he found in his friend, whoever it was, there was no bed for him, so he had to sleep on the kitchen floor. So he thought, well, I ain't doing that tomorrow night. So he came home early, and he said, I haven't had no sleep. He said, I'm going to bed. He said, wake me up about tea time, he said, and because I'm going to a party tonight. And anyway, when it came to, I went up, he was still sound asleep, and I said to Allan, I'm not going to wake him up. I said, he needs to sleep. And he said, he don't like it. And I said, it's only a party. I said, well, so what? Anyway, Allan went up and woke him up. Never forgive himself for that. And so, because he came down and went off, got himself ready and went off out, and yeah, the next thing we knew was we'd gone to bed, and the police was banging on the door to tell us that there'd been a bad accident.
Yeah.
And that Mark had been killed. So
Awful.
yeah, and his friend as well, Paul.
Mm.
Paul was driving, but ironically enough, he wasn't even supposed to be in that car. He was going with his friend Tony.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get the car to start when they come out. They hadn't been drinking. They said there was no alcohol in their bodies because they never went out till late, you know. And they said, they said he was.
It's quite icy conditions, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, not terribly so, but bad enough, you know. But anyway, their car wouldn't start, so Paul was there with his car, and he just passed his test.
Yeah.
And he had Derek's car, and that's his father, and it's a big car. And he said, "Oh, I'll take you if you like." And he said, and so they hopped into his car.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was it.
Awful. Obviously, something that no parent, should ever have to go through.
No.
Talk me through what those next couple of months and days and sort of the aftermath of this.
Oh, dreadful, because it's a headline news in Bridgewater, and everybody was talking, but I didn't go to work for a little while because I couldn't face it, and his dad, he went back on the job on building and whatnot, and anyway, Allan I don't think he could, he just couldn't live with it. The local farmer has told me now that he used to find Allan down the fields crying his eyes out, but he never did it to me, never cried. I suppose he didn't want to upset me, and so he was bottling it in, and he'd already had a little bit of a murmur in his heart, nothing much, but so I don't know. Obviously, I came down that morning. He said I'm going downstairs to read my book. I can't sleep, and so he went down. That was the last time I spoke to him, because when I got up in the morning, he was dead in the chair.
Yeah.
And
Horrible.
I can still see. I only had Kevin there then. Dawn was at her first husband's house, and it was only Kevin, and I can still see him shaking his father, trying to wake him up, no, he was gone.
How long in between or after Mark's accident was this?
3 months.
Yeah.
Mark was February and he was May.
Yeah.
So no time.
No.
When I went to announce his funeral to the undertaker, he couldn't believe that I was back there again. You know? He said,
yeah, it's an insane thing to happen in 3 months, to lose a husband, for obviously Kev and Mum, to lose a father and also their brother.
That's
and
right.
your son. It's unimaginable, really, what you must have been going through.
Allan was only 49.
Yeah.
So that's young for a man to, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think what helped, well, if I can say it helped me, because obviously it was a terrible time, and you're like in a black hole or something. But I knew I had to pull myself out of it, because I had another son and a daughter. Yeah. And they were just as upset as what I was, you know. So. And
this is sort of what I want to get into, really, because I think your story is a really, really inspirational story on how to really, pull through the hardest times. Yeah. And it must have been incredibly hard. And I think a lot of people wouldn't have been able to keep on pushing from then. But obviously, you're such a strong person, and you really did drive the family forward from there. And I just want to know sort of how you did that, really. Well,
I don't really know. Kevin was on the verge. He just... Well, that was a funny little story. Just before all this happened, he was living at home, obviously, and his father said, I think he was giving us £5 a week keep.
Yeah.
And his father said, I think, we're going to have to, because he always had a girlfriend there. And he said, I think we're going to have to put the rent up here. And he said, I ain't paying it, Kevin said. And he said, well, I'm sorry, son. But he said, I think you're going to have to help out, but... And he said, no. He said, I ain't. He said, I'll buy my own. He said, will you do that then? And he did. He did. The house that he got now, he did, So, but when all this happened, obviously he was on the verge of going, but he stayed with me longer, while I sort of got my feet back on the ground again, sort of thing, And
I guess in a way, things like that can sort of bring you together.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it does. I mean, I think the world of your mum and Kevin, your family is your family, isn't it? And it's the same when all the grandchildren come along. I mean, to me, it's just family. It's just everything,
Yeah.
That's what makes life worth going on for. That's how I looked at it,
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I can say. But mind you, I did as well have a very strong mother.
Yeah.
She was really, although she was very, how can you explain my mother? I loved her to death, but she was very strong. I think she was stronger than me. She was a really strong one to come through what she had to.
Yeah.
Because she had a horrible, as I've said earlier
of course.
she had a horrible life. And it made it that she was always, on her own. She never had anybody with her, and
I think it speaks to extreme levels on the fact that she was able to get you out of that situation as well and bring you away and start anew.
Oh, she really was strong, my mother was. There's no two ways about it. And I think that as well really helped me,
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. But yeah, there was the sad old times, and Paul that died as well. I mean, Sandra, she's my friend anyway, and even now she and I see each other quite a lot. And on the day of Mark and Paul's death, we've always gone out. We always go out on that day and have a little meal somewhere and do something a bit nice, just. That's our way of thinking of them, not that we need to think of them, because you don't never forget,
Yeah.
But,
Did you find taking it day by day was your strategy? How did you manage to push on, and how, I guess, did things become any easier as it did go on?
Well, it does. It's not that you ever forget, because you don't, and you. At times, especially when the anniversaries come round of it, you can feel, it's almost like it's the day again.
Yeah.
And you can really be upset about it, But once you're going on through the year and different things are happening, and of course, like I said just now, I got 5 grandchildren. And when you were all growing up, we used to have you, didn't we? George and I used to take you off, take you to Weston and take different little things down the play field and Taunton, I don't know what we used to take you, but and that was fun. So that's something to live for. That's new life. New life is coming into and that's what helps to, I find, helps to spur you on,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying just how incredibly strong you are, I mean, not many people could deal with that, and I've always said, to be honest, I don't have a single memory of you not ever being just really happy.
Right.
And, whenever I'm with you, you're such a happy, funny person.
Yeah, well...
yeah.
But I've always been... Perhaps that mischievousness that I had as a child comes out now. It's making me sort of enjoy life where I can, you know. So,
I guess holding on to memories and things like that as well are so important. Talk to me a little bit about those years, growing up with Kevin, Mark, and my mum, of course, Dawn, and of course Grandad Tucker. Tell me about some of those times.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. We used to. We used to go to the pub a lot.
Nice.
Because the thing of it was, as well, it was the same old scenario, really. Brenda and Clive, they were the other two we were with their two boys, Kevin and Stephen. And we all went round together. So we went to simple things, local things, to the pub, and the boys would play football on the grass and things like this, and then we'd go to each other's houses, and that was really basically our enjoyment, because all of us was trying to pay for a house. They bought their bungalow and we'd got Wemden, so we were paying, always never seemed to have any spare money, so we done simple things like, nothing. Occasionally went off somewhere, but can I? I was outside. Yeah.
The dentist walking past trying to fill in.
Oh, right. Yeah. So
tell me if you can a little bit. What was Grandad Tucker like as a man, and Mark as well?
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them was the same. Both of them could be very irritable, very, well, fly off. Allan was it had to happen then, and Mark was the same. Yeah, very impatient. That's the word I'm looking for. Both very impatient. I mean, if we had any arguments about anything, that was it, with Mark and with Allan, the pair of them. Because Mark would come in, and be all stroppy about something and going on, and then he'd moan about your mother. He'd really moan about your mother. And at Christmas time, when it was come to, we always they didn't have stockings, they have sacks, and they always had all this stuff and whatnot. And Mark used to keep an eye and when Dawn was unpacking all her parcels to make sure she didn't have an extra one to what he had, like. That was the sort of situation, a little bit that way. Kevin was easy. He used to end up in the hedge on his bike. That's the only thing, because he used to go out Cannington and stick out to the same pub that I was telling you they played the football at Blackmore Lane. Well, we went there the other day, me and your mum, and he, of course, he was supposed to be sticking out, but
getting him down.
And then Allan used to have to go out and get him. Bring him home, minus the bike, and get that another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were both of them very sport-minded.
Yeah.
And still is. Kevin.
Yeah.
Still very sport-minded.
Yeah.
But he used to. One supported Everton, and one Chelsea. And it was like this, And there was especially if they were playing. We actually took them up to watch them because they were playing each other. Yeah. Fortunately, it was a draw.
That's the best result that can come out of that, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
For you, at least.
Yeah. But no, life. It was just simple life, really.
Yeah.
Never done anything else. Never went abroad. Well, we never had the money to do that anyway. Yeah. But we'd have little holidays, but not an awful. I think I had more holidays with the two boys with my mother, because we used to go to Dawlish Warren. Yeah. And there was a caravan down there that we always had, and so we used to go down there and have a couple of weeks down there in the caravan. Allan didn't bother to come. He said no, it wasn't his scene, so that was that, But.
It's crazy to think of you not loving going on holidays and not going abroad all the time.
No, I never went abroad until we had not one long before he died. That's when I found he had a bit of a dicky heart, because he had a bit of a turn. We went to Tenerife, me and Allan, but he would never go. He would never go. I'm not going abroad. I don't go there. No interest at all. But then I said, well, I want to go to Tenerife. So we actually did. We went up Mount Teede, and he was gasping for air. And that was when we first found out he had a bit of a problem with his heart, you know. But that was 5 years before he died. Never went again.
Yeah.
Never went again. Oh, we did. We went to La Ciotat because we used to always have the French children.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
My mum told me all about this.
All the summer. That used to be my summer holidays, looking after French children.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was nice. I liked it. You know, they were nice children. But yeah. So that was good. You know. And then they invited the parents to go over. So, of course, me and Allan went. So that was the second time. That was the only 2 times we ever went abroad until I met George. And then his little feet, and he wanted to be on the trot all the time, George did. Yeah, he loved it. He absolutely loved it, George did.
When was it you met George?
1990. Same day, same year your mother met Mr. Kevin Warren. 1999. Yeah.
1999.
1999.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I mean, as we said earlier, Grandad George, for me, of course, was always around from the day I was born.
That's who you knew. That's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and he always referred to you as his grandson, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about you, yeah.
What was Mum like as a child? She was really sporty as well, wasn't she? Into football and Arsenal.
Oh yeah, well, she had 2 brothers, didn't she? She just got brainwashed into it. Really, I don't say she did it. She wanted into doing sport. Not that I recall, anyway. She certainly didn't want to do it at school because I know she used to skive out of it. You know,
right?
But, yeah. No, that was all. Was the fact that she supported Liverpool.
Arsenal.
Oh no, no.
Liverpool originally.
Liverpool originally. She had a little red tracksuit. Liverpool, yeah.
So she just like the red teams.
Yeah. But yeah, she likes Arsenal now, don't she? But no, she was never a player. Not your mum, but she was more for. Well, she used to have. I remember you remember Helena, don't you? Yeah, a friend, and they used to come around the house. Oh, she used to riding a horse, which was Lisa's. Lisa's horse. She used to bring it and it stood on my lawn in the front of the house. I had a very big lawn, really. But anyway, yeah, she used to like riding this horse, and yeah, she was more. She was a girly girl in those days, you know, until she started getting older, and then she changed. But yeah, she was all right. I never really had any trouble with her, you know. I never knew where she was. That was one thing. Never where she should be. Then let's put it that way. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I guess as well, like you were saying earlier, as the children grow up, and you know. You worked in Clark's for a long time, didn't you? Clark's Village. Was that making shoes? Yeah.
No, not Clark's Village, Clark's Factory.
Right, Clark's Factory.
Yeah, down down the bottom end of the town.
Right.
There's a factory there. And yeah, I worked there, quite a few years. I worked in Hooper's first, which was a shop. And I went there from school. And that's where I met my friend Pat. We always, you know, still see each other. Yeah, I went to Clark's in 1973. It's once I went part-time. And we always had policemen's houses. All the neighbours was police.
Okay.
Because we had a lot to do with the police in those days. We used to go to their dances and the police station down there with their dues. And
it's funny how many things like that you went to. Originally, it was the RAF. or the
no, that was
the aerodrome stuff.
Yeah, but this is when I was married.
Yeah.
I'd got the children then.
Yeah.
And that's how Dawn met Lorraine.
Mm.
Same policeman's. Well, it wasn't her father, but I mean, Jackie had remarried again, like, you know. But so they had these police houses there, and we used to do everything with them. You know, it was lovely. We used to go to the balls. You've never had no danger of getting stopped. You know.
Yeah.
But,
on the good side.
Yeah. So. Yeah, what was I going to say about that? I was going to say about that now.
Just working at Clark's for all those years.
Oh, yeah, so...
I know, obviously, whenever I had to go get school shoes or anything growing up...
always had to have Clark's.
You'd always have... we always had to go Clark's because you had the discount.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed... I didn't think I would. I come out of a shop, and then I want working because, I'd had your mum. And then I thought, well, I had to get a job anyway because we needed the money, so that was that. So I thought, well, the policeman's wife, she said, I'm going down and get a job down Clark's. And I said, I'll come with you. I'll see if I can get one. So we both went down. We both got. She didn't stay, but I did. Yeah. But I found it completely different to what I'd been used to. And they had a marvellous social life, and that's what I loved. That's
what you were in for.
Yeah, and the friends, a lot of the friends some of them have gone on now, but most of them are from those days. You know, Kathy. I mean, you know Kathy.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and we had some really good times. We used to go. Christmas time, we used to have these Christmas parties, and there was always, if anybody's birthday, there was a pub just down the bottom of the Clark's Road. We used to all go down there. All things you said, we used to come back, the sergeant used to say, "You're no good. You might as well go on home," because he said you're working. We're not been treated. Yeah. But there you go. That's so life, wasn't it? It's life. So they were good days. I enjoyed those days. Yeah.
And like you say, almost it gets to a point once your children have grown up and they've got grandchildren. And of course, I know, obviously, like you were saying, obviously you took me a lot of places, and we obviously went to Turkey together. We've been on so many holidays. Yeah. But of course, the children you probably had around more than me were Josh and Jake.
Yeah.
Had them around all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, because Steve had left your mum, and she was trying to get a degree at the university, and so that took up a lot of her time. So I just stepped in.
Yeah. And what was that like? Almost going from your children growing up, going off into the world, and then all of a sudden it's like you got two more. Yeah.
But I loved it. Yeah, they used to come down when they used to come down my place. They used to dress up in. They used to find all my old coats and different things out, head scarves on. I got some photos somewhere. I must try and find them, especially one of George. And they used to dress up in all this stuff, and they'd be up. They shouldn't be, but it was up on the settee, jumping up and down, playing the drums. Yeah, you know, and then Jake always had to do what Kev said.
Right. Josh said.
Yeah, Josh said. Yeah, I did get mixed up there.
I know what you meant.
What Josh said. Yeah. If Mark, Jake was there, you know, doing something. Even when they used to dress up in their little Superman things and Batman and Robin. Jake always had to be Robin.
Yeah.
Kev always had to number one.
Yeah.
He had to be number one.
Yeah. And that sounds very Josh.
If he's listening now, Kevin Tucker. Because he knows. He was in charge.
Yeah, Josh did that a lot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sort of brings us up to almost current day, almost so many holidays, so many adventures that you've been on since then.
Yeah.
Obviously, raising all of us.
Been a lovely holidays.
Mm.
And one of the best holidays I had was last year, and I went with me and Mum.
Mm.
That was the bee's knees. That was.
The bee's knees.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. You know, yeah.
Funny seeing all the videos of you dancing and
I
getting
know.
along.
Silent disco. They ever knew what a silent disco was? I said, well, how can we have a silent disco? Don't we have any music? Do we have to hum or something? You know. I didn't know what
You make the songs.
I didn't know what it was. But I tell you what was funny, when you took off your earphones, because I'm in the music, aren't you, through that, and then you take them off, you've got no music, and you're looking at all the people, and they're all doing this silly stuff, you know, jumping up and down and twisting around, and you think, it's so funny. It's so funny. Oh dear, yeah. So yeah, that was an eye opener for me. I'd never even heard of it. You know. But,
one more thing I want to speak on, because I always think this is really funny. Obviously, we go to the cinema a lot, as I was saying earlier.
We do.
Which I love doing. You love doing, of course.
Yeah.
Where did your sort of love for action movies begin? And you were speaking, or you've said in the past to me about some of your favourites being like Steven Seagal and Tom Cruise and Vin Diesel and people like that.
Yeah.
Which I think to a lot of people would be a really funny, like, favourite couple of actors.
Yeah, my friends can't get their heads around that. They say,
Yeah.
Why do you like that sort of stuff? You know, but I don't know where I got it from, really. I mean, I've always loved the pictures.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's always been, and I like a bit of I don't want anything too mamsy-pamsy, if you know what I mean.
You want bombs and explosions.
Bit of excitement. But I always want the good guy to come out in the end,
you
know, or the couple that they sort of got together or something like that.
Yeah.
I want all that. I want all the nice stuff.
You want
at
feel
the
good.
End.
Yeah.
But when it starts off, you know, you see all this other stuff. But I love going to. But I think that is because when I met Allan, that's what we used to do an awful lot. Go to the pictures, you know. Yeah. So I think that's probably where that came from. Yeah. I don't say I always watched. I certainly didn't like. If he say, "Do you want to go to see that musical or Sound of Music or something, whatever it was?" That didn't.
Not interested.
That didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
No.
What's your favourite movie? Do you have a favourite? Every time I speak to you, you've watched Gladiator again.
Yeah.
So that's got to be up there.
Well, once again, it's all this sword, isn't it? You know, isn't it? I do like Gladiator, but one film that, it's not quite so violent, but it's more, I don't know what. Anyway, it's Ghosts. I love Ghosts with Patrick Swayze. I like that one. Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, but that's not a hard one, is it?
Yeah.
I'm going to be in the process now. They're starting up. I've seen it in years ago. The Count of Monte Cristo, but they're doing a new series. Okay. And it's starting tomorrow night on the telly. Okay,
so that's what you're locked into currently.
I've got Kevin to record it for me, and it's all coming up. So I see, and it's not the old one. It's a new take on it, you know. Because I like that sort of stuff, because that gets a bit And I liked what's the one with the pirate ship?
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes, I like that.
Great movies. Yeah. With Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, I love Jack Sparrow. I love that character.
They're amazing films.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like... but another all-time favourite of mine, but that is a musical, and that's Calamity Jane. And I'm going to see that in September with your mum.
Exciting.
To see you.
Exciting.
Yeah.
What about music-wise? Because I know you've always loved your music, of course. You've given me some songs in the past to play on the shows.
Yeah.
What are some of your favourite musicians and songs?
Favourite musicians? Well, obviously
I know number one.
Yeah, what? Snow Patrol.
I was going to say Bryan Adams.
Yeah, Bryan Adams.
number one favourite.
He is number one. I've seen him twice.
Mm.
Oh, he's lovely. In fact, I was sat listening to it just before you came in today. Yeah, I got him on the telly. But, ELO, I like ELO. Aerosmith. Now, who'd think I'd like Aerosmith? But I do. I think not only that one that it's famous for.
Yeah.
But what is it? I Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
Yeah.
I love that one. But I like all the others as well because he's so funny. It's how he is, isn't he? I think he's great. I think he's great. T-Rex. No, that my memory of Mark is T-Rex.
Yeah.
Because he used to have it up going upstairs, and Allan used to say, if he don't turn that music down, he said. I said, well, you go up and tell him. I'm not telling him. And he'd go up and he'd say, turn it down. What? Turn it down. I can't hear what he said. No, turn it down. I love Bon Jovi.
Mm-hmm.
I got a wide
variety.
I like quite heavy. I don't like heavy metal quite so much. Although
But you've been introduced to it from Josh.
I go and watch it because Josh Payne. I took Kathy with me, that night, and she couldn't get over it. But she loved it. She loved all the pushing and shoving and whatnot, But I
getting in the mosh pit.
Steve had to come and rescue us. But it's Josh, isn't it? So that's what that was all about, really. But I wouldn't necessarily listen to that, But I do like all sorts, really. Elvis. I've been to Elvis. I've been to Graceland. That was nice. That was interesting. All around the Memphis, and where not only where Elvis played, but a lot of other famous stars of the time. I just like being. I like to feel it. I like to be involved in it.
Be in the mix.
Yeah. And Andy Williams, he's of the older ones, a long time ago. Andy Williams is probably one of my favourites as well.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Before we go to a couple of tracks now, which you've actually picked out for us that we're going to play, I'll just ask you, because I think this would be a really nice place to leave this show this week. And of course, I want to say a big thank you afterwards for coming on. But with the life you've lived and all of the experience you've gained, what advice would you give to the younger generation today, or what advice would you have given to yourself at a younger age?
Well, I think first of all to be true to yourself. If there's something you really want to do with a lot of people, a lot of youngsters now, they leave school, they haven't a clue what they want to do they?
Yeah.
But I think if there's something that you really want to do, look at yourself, for instance. You wanted to travel, didn't you?
Yeah.
My God, you've done that, haven't you?
I'm trying to.
You're still
Here and
doing
there.
it. But no. I think that's one thing, but always, I think another thing would be to be alert with everything that's going on around you in this day and age.
Yeah.
Not to take everybody's word for granted, what they're saying is true.
Yeah.
Things like that. It's just be very, very careful nowadays, It's not like when I was a young girl. What I've talked about, it was so innocent then. There was nothing. Obviously, you had a few awkward characters, you always do, but it was very, very rare. But now I'm afraid it's not quite the same, is it? So. But other than that, I really don't know. Be kind. Yeah, always see the good side of somebody, unless they show you the bad side.
Yeah.
If you've seen that, then you make your own decisions. Then But try and be kind to people. Whatever generation, like I say to your olds, which you are. Yeah, so, So other than that, love, I think that's...
It's a good place to end it off.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I don't get to do this bit very often. I'm going to speak directly to the viewers now and the listeners.
Okay.
Well, actually, before I do, I suppose I should say thank you for coming in.
That's my pleasure.
It's been amazing. I'm so glad you have.
Quite nervous about it. But
yeah. But you were scared we wouldn't have much to speak about. We're 2 hours into a show and we could have gone for longer.
Really?
So.
Well, your mother said there better be a part 2. She said the way you talk, she said.
But yeah, I want to say a big thank you to you for coming in, obviously. I'm so glad that we did this. Obviously, love you.
Yeah.
And as I've always said, the funniest person I've ever met, Nan.
Oh,
so,
right.
So yeah.
Well, you just go along with that and we'll be fine.
If you are listening to the show on YouTube, then don't forget you can find us on AW Radio. That is a station which you can get an app for, or we have a website and you should check it out. If you are watching on YouTube, of course, subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment, let us know what you want us to chat about in the future and who you want us to get on in future episodes too. Until the next time, we wish you a lovely rest of your week, and I'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.